So you are a woman of God, you're ministering, you're praying for people, they're having babies. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5.
Yeah.
What are you telling God in prayer?
I've gone through a whole cycle of, in the beginning, oh God, I know you will do it, I know you will do it, I know you will do it. And then I've gotten to, God, what's going on?
Yes.
God, can you really hear me? Okay, God, whatever, And then back to, okay, God, I really believe in you. I had a cycle. I'll be very honest about that cycle, where sometimes my faith was up there for different reasons. And other times I was just like, I'm not even praying about this issue anymore. There was a season where I think my heart started to get a level of almost bitterness. Because I was like, God, is this how you pay people who serve you? Like, I have given you my life. I've given you, I've given you everything that I know to give you. And I've asked you for this one thing, and I was like, God, give me just one. Just give me one, In my limited understanding, it felt very like, God, there's this one thing you can give me, but you've refused to give me. But then I also realized I had quite a bit of growing to do as far as my faith is concerned, and my belief in God and understanding who He is and His heart for me. So I remember getting to a place where I completely, year 5, I got pregnant. That was my first pregnancy, year 5.
Right.
We were so excited,
Yeah,
so excited. And then it ended very quickly. I used to read about miscarriages, but I didn't know like they happen to like me, you know what I mean? Those the things that you don't realize are real until they knock at your door. So I was so confused, because when you get pregnant, just the way I thought, when you want to get pregnant, you get pregnant.
Yes.
Now I thought when you get pregnant,
Keep it.
you keep it. So what do you mean there's no heartbeat? What does that even mean? So I remember I was in that room, my best friend was there, and the doctor, she took such a long time doing that ultrasound. After long, I was now trying to read her face, because I figured something is going on. So I'm trying to read her face, and I couldn't quite read her face. But then eventually she says, Kambua, I need you to, because usually they tell you, go fill your bladder, you drink so much water.
Right.
So she says, I need to go empty your bladder and come back. So I'm still because she hasn't said anything yet, I'm still very hopeful. So, I go to the bathroom, no problem, I'll empty my bladder. So at this point, she's telling my best friend, you need to call her husband. You need to call whoever you need to call.
Well, that's why she wanted you to step out.
Yes, that's why she wanted me to step out. So I come back, and now my best friend is carrying this, so she cannot show me anything. So but then, eventually she tells me, Kambua, I'm really sorry, there's no heartbeat. I feel like, for me, those words, because, I feel like it took me back. The only other time I had felt that was with my dad for, I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do. So there was also that finality with this, I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. And I lost sense of time and whatever, because miscarriages are you feel so isolated. You feel like you're the first person to lose a pregnancy. You feel like your body let you down. You had one job, That loss was really heavy, and it was heavy because now when I go back to the external noise, there was still all of this noise. Nobody knew I was pregnant. It was too early to show. I wasn't willing to share. So dealing with all of this and not even being able to say, I'm actually grieving a loss right now. Going for that DNC because they had to clean me out. I remember coming to, and it was just such a shocking thing. I'm like, what is going on? And especially back to my faith, like, God, we've prayed for so long, and then it looked like you did it. So what happened? There's such a crisis in my faith. there's a lady friend of ours who was there, and she said, Kambua, I just want you to know it was not your fault, because women blame themselves when they lose babies. I needed to hear that. It was not your fault. It was not anything you did. So anyway, so having to navigate that loss, I'm still working my relationship with God. I'm like, God, what is this? Did you let us down? Still having to show up on TV and having to show up in all these places as though everything is okay, and it's not. I was really falling apart on the inside. So I started to feel that bitterness, that hopelessness, that just ugly feelings that I didn't like. But what I'm grateful for about that season is that they pushed me to a place of finally completely surrendering.
I like when you talk about being a mother. You often say, if I'm not wrong, you say, oh, I'm a mom of 3, I'm a mom of 4, the way you say it. And I find that wholesome.
Yeah. Yes, I am a mom of 3.
Yes.
2 are in my house, and 1 is with Jesus.
Yes, you say
so
that.
we are co-parenting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you are co-parenting with Jesus.
Yes,
I love
Jesus.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
right. And in that way, you own your story and you own yourself.
Yeah.
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 Nothing missing.
Nothing missing, because and why it's so important for me to say that I am a mom of 3 is because, and this is because I lost my second child, Malachi. I talk about it, one, because again, a lot of these conversations I realize in Kenya, but also in the greater part of our continent, are very taboo, very hush-hush.
Yes.
We don't acknowledge babies who passed when they were either stillbirths or that kind of infant loss. We don't. And I'm like, no, but this child was born. This child was here. This child had a name. So this was my child. Yeah. So, and I realized that even my owning the 3 children has brought a lot of healing to other people and other families. And they're able to say, we have 4 children. There are 2 in our house. That's a story of many, many homes. And there's a level of comfort that comes with that, me acknowledging and letting people know that I had a son. Yeah. You might not see him, but he was here.
Yes.
And it's helped me just be able to generate conversations in an attempt to create safe spaces for women and here in Kenya and in the continent. So Malachi is my special boy. He came in the heart of COVID. He was a surprise.
Right. So you were not even planning?
No. We're not planning, and I imagined that because it had been so difficult to get Nathaniel, it would either never happen again or take a really long time. And it just happened like a year and something after Nathaniel was born.
Wow.
So I was shocked, surprised, everything. And then it's COVID, we're isolated, and I'm like, how do we do this? So anyway, got into it. The pregnancy was viable. Very, very, very difficult pregnancy. I just remember, I feel like I remember a lot of injections through the pregnancy to help sustain the pregnancy. It was tough. It was very tough on my body. But especially just that understanding how delicate bringing a life is, and I was like, I just need my baby to get here safe. I'll do whatever I need to do. So when I was put on bed rest, I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I actually got out of bed rest one day because my best friend lost her dad, and I spoke to the doctor, and she said, okay, you can go, but she gave me a specific number of hours and then get back to bed. So I did that. I've had to get a cervical stitch with all my pregnancy. So did everything that I needed to do, the progesterone shots, all of that. So anyway, Malachi came at 36 weeks. So he came a little later than Nathaniel. Now with Malachi, unlike Nathaniel is because I felt there was reduced movement. So I was like, something is wrong. Malachi's was a routine check. We were going for I was at 36 weeks and we went to see the doctor. And, I remember her saying, how many weeks are we again? Because I think what she was looking at on her screen things were not fully correlating. And I thought, that's very odd. And then we had to go, she sent us to get a Doppler scan that now checks everything in detail. So we went for that scan, and I have to tell you, I have a lot of trauma as far as doctors and ultrasounds are concerned, because after like the first 3 minutes, if you're not telling me something, I know something is wrong. And doctors, they're very professional, but even just that, being unable to read you tells me everything I need to know.
Yes.
And this doctor, she took such a long time. And we're just quiet in the room, and she's just doing the scan and doing. And I'm like, say something, say anything.
You say this to her?
Yeah, like,
yes.
tell
don't leave me here.
tell what's going on. And she says, I need you to go to the hospital. We're very close to the hospital where we were, to the main hospital. She says, I need you to go to the main hospital. And my husband is like, can you just tell us? And she asks me, Kambua, when was the last time you heard this baby move? I don't know that I was ever ready to hear that again, because when you experience loss, I felt like, it almost feels like if it was a price I was paying for something, I feel like I had paid so much already, and I didn't think that I felt like I had fought so hard to get to that place. We got to the hospital. They were very gracious. They rushed through everything. I had to do a COVID test, etc. They cleared the theater, got us in, and I had a really good team of doctors who are the same people who delivered Nathaniel. So they were like, Kambua is going to be great, and do they call him? Is it the anesthesiologist? He kept talking to me because they want you to stay awake. And I remember him saying, Kambua, you have nothing to worry about. The baby is looking great. They're pulling the baby out of my womb. I was like, baby is looking great. And he says, the color, he has really good color. I can see the pink color. It's a good sign, Kambua. And I thought, oh God, thank you. So anyway, we stayed. Because again, he was born early, 36 weeks. He still needed to be in the NICU. But then my son lived for 2 days, and it was 2 very difficult days for him. And he fought. That boy was a fighter, but I just, I remember when we got to that place again of, Kambua, we have tried, and I saw it. I could see they had tried. They had done everything they knew to do to save my son's life. When I told you how when my dad passed, I was like, I just got into this dark, like, I thought my world stopped. I didn't know there was a basement to that. It's almost like my spirit acknowledged that God is still a good father. He's still a good God. But I was holding my son, whose body was going cold, and because that sensation, I remember it from my dad. I remember rubbing my dad's feet and his hands, and they were so cold, they were getting so icy. I didn't know that's how a transition happens, but now I knew. I could feel my son, and I was like, it's the same thing. He's going, he's complete, and he was so peaceful, he was asleep. I never thought I would be the woman who walks out of a maternity ward empty-handed.
I want to make a personal request to you. Many of you watch, like, comment, but you don't subscribe. Now, subscription matters as you subscribe and as you engage. So I am making a personal request. Don't just watch and leave. Please click the subscribe button. It matters to me.